Yeah? No? Maybe so? Out to the millions of people that are gonna be watching this?
I've been thinking about it.
There we go.
We're good?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you guys for coming in. So obviously we've been talking a lot about command and technology and where Keller Williams is going, and how the technology is going to implement and affect the agents, and how we're basically trying to get the transaction to eventually all be on our phone, because we know millennials are our #1 buyers right now. They want to do the whole process on their phone, and this is kind of one of the first big steps. Now, the compliance piece in Command has been up and running for a few months now, but we have just been waiting for a lot of kinks. New technology always has lots of fun stuff. So we've been waiting and waiting and waiting to make sure that it's first, the review process on Ken isn't going to kill them. Second, that it's going to be good for the agents. We have good communication. It seems like they've worked out a lot of kinks, and it's getting closer. So we want a select group of agents and TCs to be able to move over to Command completely from SkySlope, and let's see how it goes for the next month or so before we start to move over the rest of the office. So we appreciate you guys being a part of this. There's a lot of benefits to Command. Command is all AI based, so everything we put in there, it learns and it stores the data. If you know anything about mass data, Google's just a major data place, and that's how they predictive analytics is all off past data. So as we're using Command, we're actually making Kelly smarter, and as we put our documents in there, it's learning, and it's learning what we're doing. It's actually going to, in the near future, be able to do a lot of your sending out for signatures for you. It'll just do it. But it's got to learn that. It's got to learn the documents. It's got to be able to do that. And in Texas, it's already doing a lot of that. But in California, it's not. So anyways, we're going to jump into this. What we're going to do is I'm going to make a file in front of you. I'm going to pretend that I'm a new buyer or a new seller, new listing. We're going to go through what the compliance part will look like, how to do it, and then by end of today, if we get a new listing contract or if we get a new buyer into contract, we will go ahead and start using Command and not use SkySlope. Question, Audrey?
There's a lot of TCs in the room. Are they going to have to log into the agent's command file?
Yes, as of now. So if you're a part of a team and your team leader set up the team structure on Command, you may have a TC access on there as a team member. I don't know if your team leader's done that for you yet. Most likely, you're just going to log in under your team leader's command. Okay?
Once it's up and running, will we still have the TCs from KW, or we're going to be doing it ourselves?
So the TCs at KW most likely will not be around once we switch over to Command. Reason being is a lot of this, as this rolls through, will replace what they were doing for the most part. So now the TCs also will not have access into Command, and they don't currently have access into Command like we could with SkySlope. So there will not be those virtual TCs to break that up for you, and I'm going to show you how the rooms are done through DocuSign and how they implement it in there and how it's pretty easy. Now the future, what that'll look like, it'll go in there automatically for you, and that's currently what they're doing is they're breaking up the documents and putting it in there for you. That's why we're trying to get into Command quicker, because it's going to learn that and be able to do that for us sooner rather than later. Gary Keller on stage said it should be done within the next year, where that's going to be happening through certain states that have been at early access. So California, maybe longer, just because it's California and we've been more difficult, but it may be sooner than that as well.
I have a two-part question.
Sure.
Are we going to do it just with the new transactions we get?
Just the new ones.
Okay.
We'll finish up everything you have in SkySlope. Let's not make it too complicated for you. It's just if anything new, we'll be logging into Command and going forward.
Okay, so are we going to have to do them in both, or just once we're in Command, that's it?
Once we're in Command, that'll be it. You don't need to make a new one in SkySlope. Ken's going to be reviewing that, and we'll maybe just, to make it easy on him, we'll do a little note command or something.
Yeah, I'll explain that when we get
there.
to that point. But I would imagine if you want and you have listings that are in SkySlope, those could be transferred over.
Yeah, those are easy.
Reason you I mean, that way when it goes to an escrow, you're in Command.
Yeah, and you could just cancel them in SkySlope.
Yeah.
And not only that, it's so easy to transfer it over if you have a car form set up in zip forms. There's a button that links your thing and all your documents will be there, and you'll click 2 buttons and it'll be there. And I'll show you how to do that. So yeah, if it's a new listing, that makes sense.
That just shortens down the lead time or the
Yeah.
completion time on the other end.
So the cutover date, is it today for new stuff then, or are you gonna use
Yeah.
it first?
No, today works.
Okay. This day in history, the 18th of December.
Yeah, put it on the board. Put it on the board. If you get something new, we want to work out the kinks with people that know SkySlope and know compliance well before we have the masses of agents who don't know SkySlope or compliance at all get in there and mess it all up. So we want to make sure we know what we're doing. We work out any little kinks that we need to work out with the people that understand how to do it before we start rolling over to the next group. So you guys are like special, exclusive.
They are very
I
special.
think-
Guinea pigs.
I think-
Yeah.
You notice he said the people who do it right.
Yes, people that do it right, and we're not terrified about switching over.
I think the other part of this too is that I'm not gonna kid you, there are gonna be some glitches and things we don't know the answer to, and we're gonna have to figure them out. And that means communication. Don't sit there and pound your head against the wall and get mad at us. Send Garrett and me a
Come
text
find me.
and let us know what your problem is and let us figure it out how to handle it, so.
And come find Mike. And I foresee one little glitch issue thing, but we'll help you guys through that with other agents. But other than that, I don't know yet until it happens, and that's why we want the beta group. Because when the masses come, we want to have those problems solved, or at least tell them, so we get in front of that. Make sense? All right, you guys ready to see how it works? A lot of us have already played in there, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be looking pretty familiar. The only thing that might be a little bit different is Rooms. If you haven't used that yet through DocuSign, if you currently have a DocuSign account and you use Rooms, then a lot of this is just going to be pretty easy. So I'm just going to go through and show you what it looks like, basic to all the way through. Ask questions as we go. If you have a computer and you want to do it along with me, great. Let's do it. All right? So the first thing we have to do, obviously, is get in there. So let's get into our command. So it's agent.kw.com. And this is where you're going to log into, most likely, the team leader's account. And it's the same as their MyKW account.
Or if you're representing individual agents, you'll be putting
Yeah.
their email address and login.
Username.
Username and login.
Username,
Yes.
password
The
for.
username and password.
So you need to get, because it's not the same as SkySlope, right?
No.
It's not. So yeah, so if you're going to be doing my file for me, you're going to say, Garrett, what's your login and password to command? There's not yet a TC function, but they are working on that. So in the meantime, I'll just text you over my login into command, so you'll have to get into my file. Now, one of the things with command, it is data-based, and the reason why it's being data-based is it's going to help us with the future. It keeps track of all our businesses for us. It's all built off AI. It took them years to put it together. They worked with Google so they could store the information. So this may ask for more information than you're used to or you're not used to. The reason why it does that is because it's trying to store information to make things easier for us in the future. So one of the main differences between this and like a SkySlope or something is you do have to have a contact made before you can start the compliance process. So are we all familiar with that yet? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't need to make a contact?
No.
We all know how to make a contact in command?
Not me.
Not you? Okay, so real quickly, I always say command is like an iPhone. It works awesome, does amazing things. To the left are the apps that are on the iPhone. Some of them work better than the others. They're always being updated. They do a lot of cool stuff. The first app is our contacts within that application. Yeah,
Okay,
you have to make a contact in there. So we are going to live and breathe in opportunities. Most of us seem to know what opportunities are. This is where we're going to be doing most of our real estate compliance. But also this is a great opportunity for agents to completely keep track of their business. This is your whiteboard. Your sellers, listings, in contract, escrows. To be honest, if the teams are using it at a high level, they don't need a whiteboard anymore because this will keep track of who's who and what's in the zoo. If the agents are using that. Now the agents might not, that's okay. We're going to show you how to do compliance through here, but the agents hopefully will get to a point where they're using this because this will also help them in their business. Because it'll show them the conversion rates, all that stuff.
We don't have to use this.
You don't have to.
The agents, like, they don't.
They don't have to, but they should, but they absolutely don't have to because it keeps track of what money they're making, all that fun stuff. The only thing you have to do is when you get in here, is you have to create the opportunity. So say if you get an email, hey, I got a new listing, here's the stuff, right? That's how they do it for the most part. They send you over the contract or they send you over the listing, and they say, here's the file. Is that how they do it? Is that just how I did it? Yeah?
Just
Okay.
Email it in.
All right, so say I get that email in with this listing. So I'm gonna come into the opportunities and then I'm gonna create an opportunity. Now, I go through this kind of quickly. If you need me to slow down, just say slow down. I'll slow down. If you need me to come over and help you, I'll help you. This is designed to help you guys understand how to do that. So if tomorrow or tonight you get a contract, we're in here. All right? So we're gonna create the opportunity. First thing it's going to ask for is for our market center, which is the Antelope Valley. Now, a part of the team, if your teams are set up correctly, you're going to have multiple agents on your team. You want to make sure that you have the right member for the opportunity. So if you're working with 3 or 4 team members on a team, like for example, Tom's team, if it's Tom or if it's Andy, their team members should be in here. You'd select the team member.
What if I don't see any team members but the team leader in there?
And then it just go ahead and leave it blank. It's just for the team to break down so they know what's what. And so if I'm running my business, I want to know what all my listings, who's getting the listings, who's getting the buyers. I know what team member's doing what. Until they set that up though, it won't be in there.
Can I set that up?
For them,
Yes.
as long as they're set up as a team within Winmore. If they're not,
With the MCA office.
yeah. So if they're not, we don't have, I don't think Carlos is set up that way.
He's set up as a team.
He is, so then yeah, you should be able to do it. Another class. Okay, so we're gonna talk the opportunity type. This one's a listing. We'll say I am the owner. The client's name, we'll go ahead and use Adam's name. So I'm gonna search for his name. This is why it was important to have him as a contact. If he's not a contact in your command system, they won't come up. And the reason why this is important is it's gonna keep track for the agent. I know with Adam Wilson, every listing I've ever had with him and all the information I ever need by going to that contact. It's gonna keep track of that listing, when it closed, the address. It'll even send me 1-year anniversary cards for me. It does a lot of cool things for me. So that's why it's important that it's tied to this contact. And say the co-seller, I don't know if Lindsay's in here, that's Adam's wife. I don't think I have her. I don't, so I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna leave that blank. It would also have to be a contact. If I wanted to tie in the husband and the wife, she would have to be her own contact in there, if I so chose to do that. Now the opportunity name. This is where we're going to put the address. Adam lives at 1234 Main Street. And then I'm going to put his last name. That way it's easier for me to find. It's easier for Ken to find. If we're all on the same page with that, it'll be easier through your compliance process to keep the address and the name at the end with that dash.
If it's vacant land, are you starting with the 8 p.m.?
Yes.
Good question.
Some of us do.
Part of the
Yeah,
reason
some
you're
of us
gonna,
do dirt.
part of the reason you're gonna set this up now is you're gonna keep using this opportunity name for review requests, for communications, when we're trying to find this file, this transaction, you're gonna always refer to that opportunity name. Okay, so we don't want to have the opportunity number because if we get a call from another brokerage about this file, they're not gonna know our opportunity name, but they're going to know the address of the property.
Address makes it easy. All right. And then if your agent would like you to put it where it came from, great. If he doesn't, that's up to him. As a business owner, I want to know where all my listings and buyers come from, so I'm going to have this set up. But they may not, I don't know. This is just to custom tag it. So let's say I got this at an open house. This is just for record keeping purposes for the agent, not necessarily what you have to have. An estimated closing date, let's say I took this listing today and I'm going to close it by the 31st because I'm just that good. All right, $400,000 for simple math. I'm going to get a 3% commission. Now the opportunity phase, this part's really just going to matter to the agent if they're using that whiteboard that I was talking about before. If they're not, it doesn't matter too much. But I'm just going to put them under as active because if they already gave me a listing, I know it's active, right? And then the opportunity stage is just talking about what stage of that opportunity phase it was in. It's an active listing. We're currently showing the home. Make sense? Okay, I'm going to create the opportunity now. I'm going to go back real quick to show you where this is at.
Quick question,
Yeah.
if this if Adam has already sold a house,
Yeah,
and so this is house number 2 or 3,
it's like 7 for me. It's a
so,
great client.
so how did, when you go to search for it, is it going to, it's just gonna add a new, when you do this, it's just gonna add a
New one.
number 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll notice now that I have cultivate. If my agent was using this at a high level, I would have a bunch of my cultivate, less in my appointments, less in my actives, less under contract, less in close. A lot of agents probably aren't going to be using this at a high level. I could find that opportunity I just created in active because remember I selected the stage, I put it under active. It's going to be in this section. I could always go up here too. You see I have Garrett Row, but then there's all opportunities. I could always get and find it through here as well, depending on the last name, if I wanted to search for the listing, if this way was a little bit too confusing for me. That make sense?
Yeah.
Did I lose anybody?
You should be able to find it by the opportunity name of the address too, right?
You could always just type in the address, 1234 Main. Well, what did I call it?
1234 Main Street.
You have a lot of Adams in
Yeah, I have a lot of Adams in there. Well,
there. You should start using E.
yeah,
You're
we could-
under
I've-
all opportunity.
yeah, I have a lot of Wilsons in there. That's okay. I made it confusing. I should have chose a different name, but it's all right. Just showing you can search for that way. It's also all your active stuff's going to be right there. Those all opportunities are going to show everything that I've closed.
You're
So you click
under,
on that number 2.
Right here.
Open your
Yep.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Under all opportunities, you can also press the address header and it should sort by address.
Yeah, and you could do closed. You could filter it out. Like I only want my listings. I only want my buyers. I only want ones under this contact because these are going to keep track of every opportunity you've had since you put them in here. Everything. It's going to keep the data forever to keep track of your business. So you can always change that by address. You can go to different pages, show them all. This page is going to be your active ones for the most part. It's just 2 ways to find them. See right here, I have active ones. If I click right here, you're going to see I have 1234 Main Street, and then another 1234 Main Street because I did this class earlier. Or I did this earlier. You can see the date, everything about this opportunity. So to get into the opportunity, I just have to click on the address to actually get into that opportunity. As an agent, I can move this around and have different checklists to make sure I do things. It does a lot of stuff for the agents, which is pretty cool. But for compliance, we're just going to focus on getting into the opportunity, putting the info in, and using it on the compliance side. The agent wants to use it as they're moving their stages over. Great. They don't. It's up to them. So I'm going to get into the opportunity by clicking on the name. Now I'm into the opportunity. This is going to look more like your sky slope area in here. Now the general information, I have the address, there's no team, I got it at open house, I'm the owner, it's active, I'm showing, the contact name is Adam, no co-seller, there's no appointment time or date, I didn't put any of that information in. Estimated listed price at $400,000 at 3%, which is a $12,000 commission. All right. Are we all here?
Wait, she's helping me get to where you are.
Okay.
See that? Okay, got it,
Got it?
yeah.
All right. So I'm in here. The first thing we need to do is connect our opportunity to the MLS. It'll pull in a lot of information for you, save you a lot of work. So you'll see that select from KWLS. Now when you select that, if you've put it on the MLS already, it'll probably be right here in only my listings, most likely. Your listings are going to be here. You're just going to select your listing. Now, if for whatever reason your listing's not there, you need to search for it. Someone have a listing for me? Address?
A real one.
A real one?
44317.
44317?
Ruth Ron,
Rose?
Ruth Ron, RUTHRON.
I see my listing like that has the opportunity number, but I don't see that connect to KW. Maybe I'm in the wrong spot, but it looks the same.
Did you see how I found her listing though and I just clicked select?
Yes.
So now it's up there in the top corner. Now that listing will tie into this opportunity.
Oh, is it because it's in Cultivate?
So go to,
Oh, okay.
are you in a buyer or listing?
But it still says Cultivate.
That's weird. So yeah, move it over to active. See if that gives you.
If you work with any, I
Click on it.
don't think anybody does. this is pulling
Oh, you
from
already have one
Gabar.
connected to it, you just don't have pictures,
Okay.
go back,
This is the one I was trying
So-
to
click
do.
on it. You have one.
If you
just
only
doesn't have
list
pictures.
it in an outside
Yeah, I don't
MLS,
have
it's not
that.
Click the X.
pulled
It's
through.
not gonna be.
So it won't pick up SRA.
Move it.
It may pick up SRAR, you might even see
It-
duplicates.
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah,
But like Tehachapi or Bakersfield or Ridgecrest,
they're there, what do you mean they're not
if
there?
they put it in,
Okay.
if they don't put it in Gabar, it's not gonna pull.
Yes, it will,
I don't think it will.
Ridgecrest pulls down,
Okay, but if they only use Ridgecrest, is it pulling
yeah,
all the listings?
yeah.
Okay.
Any listing in any MLS, they just didn't have that MLS's active feed, and then they got it.
What about Tehachapi?
Let's see, I don't know about Tehachapi,
I don't think we did anything. But I know if it's in Gabar, so
but
you
Bakersfield
should
should have
see
done
it.
that, not us. What's it, anyone have something in Tehachapi? How do you spell Tehachapi? It's like T-E,
Tehachachi.
No. Oh, yeah.
I can't even read it from your API. So there
yeah,
are.
there's a lot in here, Tehachapi. There's 6,269, these are all. So if I just did, for sale,
Yeah, we can.
There's
Jeff
942.
White, I just saw Jeff. Teresa Mann is in the Tehachapi office.
Terry
so
Bender.
it's polling.
it's full, I think it's full.
Okay. All
So
right.
anyways,
Don't
so, oh, I lost the, sure, we'll do this one. That works. So anyways, so you're gonna connect that address to there, that's gonna pull a lot of your information in here, you see that's filled out now, on there.
Now, what if the information's wrong or not there?
You could go right here and hit this little edit and correct it.
Okay.
Alright, are we with me?
Yep.
Okay, now we're gonna get, you'll see at the top, we have the details of this transaction, then we have the documents, we have offers, we have commissions, we have notes, timelines at the end. If we click on documents, this is gonna look a lot like SkySlope for us. The first thing we have to do, it says pick a checklist type. If we're doing a commercial property, if we're doing a manufactured home, if we're doing a residential, they're all different checklists, right? So we're gonna say, this is a residential home. Now it's going to give us our checklist for residential homes. You'll notice this checklist is going to look exactly like SkySlope because we made it to look exactly like SkySlope. We copied the titles, we copied the numbers, we did nothing fancy here except make it look exactly like SkySlope. Does this look familiar to us? Yes?
Looks exactly like SkySlope.
It looks exactly like SkySlope.
I chose a manufactured home park and it says 0 documents uploaded and it doesn't look anything like SkySlope.
That's because we haven't finished building that one yet.
Okay.
So we
On the
will.
listing side, well, actually on both sides, all we have is the 1 to 4 unit residential.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
So-
have the titles, but nothing else.
So you need to work on that because I'm so a lot.
I know, matter of fact, yeah, we'll get those fixed for you.
Yeah, yeah.
But we
yeah.
actually have a plan in place.
Okay.
Wyatt's gonna be knocking that out the next day or two.
Okay, okay.
It doesn't take long, literally she's just copying the names and adding. Add, that's it. So soon there actually will be opportunities here for examples as well, so they can see what it looks like if they're confused.
What did you click to get into SkySlope?
Into this,
That looks like SkySlope, yes.
it's just this documents and details
Just
within
the
the
document?
opportunities.
Okay.
Yep, so I was on details, once I clicked in here, I just clicked documents.
Okay.
And then right here, I chose what we're doing. An REO will be different, a probate will be different, a land will be different. We're residential 1 to 4 units, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now here's where we have the option. Currently, we're using a zip form or car forms, right? We get in the car, we send out our documents through there,
Okay.
and they come back signed. That's how I did it.
Yeah.
And they're in car forms. What are you guys using?
DocuSign.
You use DocuSign rooms, or using SkySlope? Okay. So you're pulling all your documents from there. You're not actually going into car,
No, so I go into car, but I don't send them out to get signed.
but you make them in car.
Yeah,
Okay.
I put them in the car and I
So
said,
you have 2 options here. You can still go into car and make them, send them out in car, download them to your computer, and then just go ahead and add the file here by adding a file.
Where did you press?
So,
Can't you pull them directly?
yes, we'll get there. So, like for example, I have the AD on my computer. I just saved it from a file. I have it already in here, and I just want to hit add a file,
Okay.
and I can just
Got it.
drag and drop, find it, assign it, it'll be there. But I'm going to show you the other way that you could also do your files through here and pull all your documents in, send them out through here to be signed, bring them out in here to be signed, pull them over from your listings from CAR, all that as well. So at the top you see this little start a transaction button with a little link. If I
Yes.
click on this, it's going to do nothing.
Mine says that.
So you see a Dotloop and DocuSign. So if you're paying, if you had a Dotloop account like any other Keller Williams, you could use Dotloop. Dotloop is owned by Zillow, and they have not signed a data pledge, meaning they are taking every piece of data you put in there and they're using it for their company of Zillow to go after those clients. It's the reason why we built this, because every other company takes that data that we're inputting on every transaction. We don't want that, so we built our own program, so we keep the data. DocuSign has signed a data pledge saying they will not take any data, it's our data. Okay? So when I click on DocuSign, I'm going to be opening up a room through DocuSign. So if you're familiar with DocuSign, a lot of this is going to look,
What button did you push?
start a
It says
transaction.
right here that you can
Oh.
take your access to DocuSign and
Start a
settings.
transaction, then the
And then you have
Go
to
to
check.
settings
Hang on,
and then
hang on.
DocuSign.
Okay, so the first little hang up that you'll have, I'm going to go back real quick, is if you have not gone to your settings and connected a DocuSign account,
Set one up.
it won't work. So add my name up here. So if your agent or your agents have sent you a message to do this, you're going to have to click up here at their name.
Hold on, I see what it says. Sorry to reauthorize it.
Just click on the name and then go to settings. So at the top right, click on the name, then you have settings. Are we there? And hopefully most of your agents will have gone through and done this. We've taught this class, mandatory compliance class, we told everyone to do it, but there's a good chance most didn't do it.
So do you have to have your own DocuSign account or just Keller Williams if you want?
Yeah, it's been provided.
Actually,
It's been provided with,
Yeah, it's free now, we're
everybody
signing
has
for
a
it now.
DocuSign.
Now it's free.
Included, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you can cancel your account.
I did.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, are we here? So you'll see that mine has been connected. And it's, as you hit the connect button, it's going to ask for you to, let me disconnect it, I'll show you what it looks like. So as I scroll down, I'm going to find DocuSign. I'm going to connect my account. And it's going to ask for my name, my last name, and my preferred email. This is, do you already have an account already? Then you log in here. Or you send a registration email. When you send the registration email, your agent is going to get the email. Their agent's going to need to do this. Because they're going to get an email, unless you have access to their email as well. If you do, then you can do it for them. But if you don't, you're going to have to say, hey, you're not logged into DocuSign yet. I need you to do this. And that's where Mike, me, Blythe will be here to help with them, okay?
There's tabs that are, I think that's Keller Williams.
And that's where we would get
Hold
the
on,
access
let's
to the.
register your account.
Yes.
Use the one that says Keller Williams on it, correct?
Yes.
Yes, use the one that says Keller Williams. Oh man, I hope I didn't mess this all up by not knowing my password. Okay. You'll see here that I had my own account like many of you or many of them do.
Yeah,
But then you also now have one that says Keller Williams Realty.
okay, hold on.
That's the free one. Cancel your other one.
Can you use it not in this website? You can use it just in the,
It's a great question. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you can go to DocuSign. and
Probably.
log in.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You can, for sure.
But only this one will work with linking in.
Yes, this is the one that you're going to have to use to link in for their documents.
I don't see that there's a different name. Let's see.
Did we see how we did that? Did I go too fast? Are we okay with how I connected?
yeah.
Okay. And the more things your agent connects to there, the more awesome things this does. Just so you know.
Ah,
I don't know, I think I would say, have you connected it before you give me this assignment? Go connect.
Yeah, go connect.
Yeah.
See, this is why I want to work through this with you, because I forget that I've already connected, and for me it just works. But if you haven't connected yet, you're going to get that little error.
Or even the contact, have you put your contact in yet? I don't know, you'll have some of that information to add.
Okay, I'm going to come back into the opportunity real quick, so just so you guys see how I do that, just in case we're lost here. I'm going to go to the home screen. This is what it looks like when I log in. I'm going to go to my opportunities. I made it as an active listing, so it's right here. I'm going to click. Then we go 1, 2, 3, 4 Main Street. I click on it, now I'm in the opportunity. If escrow cancels, I can hit this lost opportunity button, boom, and it goes away. All right? Now I'm going to click back on the documents, so I'm back in the document stage, and then I'm going to go ahead and go to transaction. Oh man. I don't know if I'm KW or Gmail.
I
Let's
think
see.
you had Gmail on here.
I did?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So this has created a room for me. And what rooms are basically is transactions. So this transactions, you'll see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 Main Street with Wilson. The first thing is over here is the details. You'll see it's 1, 2, 3, 4 Main Street, Wilson, Antelope Valley, information all through here. Now if I click back to documents, this is where I can add and move documents around to easily connect them to my command. So at the top right, we have an add document button. If I hit this, you'll see we have from the computer, from DocuSign, from Zip Forms, Box, Dropbox, and Google Drive. DocuSign is working with California to get permission to have them. California has told them no. So it's a pain in the butt right now, but California is being tough. DocuSign is working on it. In the meantime, thank goodness we have Zip Forms included on here because Zip Forms has permission, has the documents. Okay? So if I click Zip Forms, right now it's asking me to link my room. What does this mean? This means if I have a form or a room already set up in CarForms, I can click it and bring it over.
Okay.
If I don't, I'll just create one. So if you guys have a listing currently, and you want to bring it over, I could just find it. Say Charles was my listing. I could click it. All the documents will now be in here if I so chose to use this platform instead. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You choose it and then hit link.
Yep, you hit link. If you've made that. So let's say if I haven't made it yet, because I'm just going to do everything in here, I don't want to log into CarForms ever again, I could just create one, and the room name will be 1, 2, 3, 4 Main Street, Wilson. And now if I log into CarForms, this will be there.
I haven't done it from that angle.
So it's a listing, and it's residential.
And we're transferring over unsigned documents, right?
You could do unsigned and signed if you wanted.
Okay.
Yeah, you could do everything. So then I'm going to create. So now this just created me that in Zip Forms if I logged into Car. That make sense?
Real quick, Derek. So, because you're already logged into your ZipForms account through DocuSign here. If you guys are doing this for the first time, it's going to ask you to log into your ZipForms account through there. Now, the thing with the ZipForms login, it's actually going to be different than what you use to log into car.org. It's a completely different login. So
I think it's I think it's your GABAR number.
It's your NRDS number or something like that, right?
It's
Yeah.
some super long number. So
It's your first name, last name, NRDS number.
if you wanna log into your car.org real quick, Garrett, so we can show them where to find that. Because this is where we're gonna.
This is where the headache I said that the one hiccup I know is going to be is agents finding, because when I go to Zip Forms right here, I thought this was just going to be my normal password, and it's not, because I guess this isn't my Zip Forms
For KW.
Yeah, this is my car login, which takes me into Zip Forms.
Which, yeah, takes you to zip forms and automatically logs you in, but, you know, it doesn't give you that, that information right away. So, if you go up to the
Look at
top.
that.
154 Main Street, Wilson. Wow, 1 minute ago. Okay.
Click on where it says me,
Me,
just
right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
Without a picture.
and you're gonna go to profile and settings. And then you're gonna go over to sign in security, there at the top. And it's gonna be that right there, that, whatever it's got in there for your username is what it'll, what you're gonna use to log in on the other page in DocuSign, when you're trying to set that up for the first time.
Yeah. So remember when I said send yourself an email when we linked the DocuSign account in the profile? When I went to settings and I connected DocuSign to my account, and I said the agent should do this, and there's a spot that says send me an email to sign up if they haven't signed up. When you hit that button, you get an email and asks you to create an account. This is your username. I thought it was my normal login on CAR. It's not.
That's when you click zip forms,
Yes.
that it's gonna ask for username, that's when you're gonna, yeah.
Does the password stay the same?
Password is
I had to
actually,
reset mine,
I-
I
yeah.
set mine.
password is actually not the same.
Yeah,
I don't know what that original, what the specific password it is for ZipForms here, but it's not the same as what you used to log into car.org.
yeah, I had to reset my.
Yeah,
password.
So,
We're gonna have to help
Yeah.
the agents through this process to connect, and that's what we're gonna be doing. So as you guys are doing this, if it's not connected yet, let us know, and we'll have to talk to the agent and we'll help them through that process. We may even just log in for them and do it, because it may be easier for us to go through each agent and connect them automatically than explain it, probably,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah.
So we might work on that. That might be a project for us. Go through each thing, go through command, log into their command, and connect them through zip forms. Because otherwise it might be a little bit of a headache.
Can we do that for the beta group so they're not struggling right off the bat?
Yeah, well, it depends on what agents you guys use, so you have to let us know what agents. If you're helping more than one agent, and then we will have to do that. Yeah.
Because it's gonna be a fight.
Yeah, so before we leave today, if you guys could just leave us a list of names of your agents, and we will get that set for you, so they don't have to go through this and figure this part out.
What if agents are not only on the team that I'm on, that I do files for?
That's fine,
Okay.
yeah. Any agent you're doing files for is what we want to use.
And it won't change their zip forms,
No.
passwords or anything?
Nope.
Okay.
Because you're logging to CAR, it does it for you, it logs you in automatically, it like subverts you into there, which is, so my CAR forms never change, when I log into CAR, it's the same, my same thing forever, but I had to do it different through here. So this is a little hiccup that I knew was gonna be a hiccup, and we're gonna take care of that hiccup for you guys, and we'll try to take care of it for the agents going forward, we'll just have to start doing a few every day to get through them. Saying that, when it's working, this is what it looks like. So I'm gonna go back because we got a little bit off topic here. So I'm in the form, I'm in the room, 1234 Main Street. Now I'm gonna add documents. I click add documents, zip forms is right here. I click,
Does Dropbox work?
you can do Dropbox or you can do Google Drive, you can do any of those to bring documents into this room. You'll notice that we have a link transaction, so if you link this to one that you've already done in CarForms, like we were talking about if you already had a listing going, and you click link transaction, it's going to bring over all those forms that are already in there. So if you already had forms in CAR that you've done, and you wanted to bring over that file, you click link transaction, all those documents are going to be there for you. So if I was to click that, I don't have any, because I just made this. But if I chose a different one, I'll show you real quick. Let's pretend this was my file that I wanted to bring over. I could link transaction, and all the documents that I have in there are right here, and I could click and they'll come over. That make sense? Okay, now I'm gonna remove that link and I'm gonna go back to adding the new one. Okay. What'd I do? Alright. So now if I want to pull over some documents, I could select zip form library. I have the zip form library. And then we have a lot of options here. We have our CAR forms, we have our GAVAR forms, a lot of other forms if you have to use any of these forms in here, but most of the ones we're going to need is CAR and GAVAR, right? So if I click on GAVAR, or CAR, you'll see I have my cover sheet like normal. I would say my listing agreement. What else might I need for a listing? Just a listing agreement, right? Not missing anything?
Commission agreement.
That'll be in my listing agreement.
Agency.
It's in there.
And
It's included.
It's all in there.
So I'm gonna hit
Wi-Fi,
add.
is that in there still?
What's that?
Wi-Fi device?
Yep, it's all part of it now.
It's all part of it. So now I have my two sheets like I normally would. Now I'm gonna fill out, I could click on my cover sheet and I'm gonna fill this out so this will fill in all my other sheets for me as I go. So for the buyer's name, I don't have a buyer yet. Seller's name is Adam Wilson, just for sake of showing you. He's, I'm gonna use my email.
I'll send Adam a whole bunch.
Okay, seller's name, if his wife or whatever would go on there. MLS number, I would fill this information out if I had it all. Escrow company, I'm gonna use OnTrack. Broker, buyer's broker, seller's broker. KWAV. Agent's name. Garrett.
So this brings over all your
Yep.
historical information from.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't have to do anything special here, it's all there.
Yeah, as long as you took care of the, connecting to zip forms,
Right, yeah.
prior to this, and then, of course, then it'll be all connected.
So you could update, do all the document you need to do in here. I edit it, now in my residential listing agreement, I could fill out the form for my agent. I don't, they're gonna probably have this already filled out if they're doing it. I don't know what you're doing for your agents or not. But you'll see the documents here, my information's here. I could send this over to be signed. I could fill out what do I need to fill out on it. It's all on here. Date prepared, dollar amount, everything. Hopefully the agent filled that out, but it's in here. Now, if they did it in CAR, you could bring it over from CAR if they filled it out into this room, or if they did it from here, it could be done in here. If you do it for your agent, you'll do it through here.
When you are in the listing agreement and you check one of the options which adds an addendum, is it gonna bring it over? You don't
Let's
have
see.
to go find it?
I didn't try that.
And either of those two boxes should create an addendum.
It did not, so you'd have to bring that addendum in, or connect to it.
It's not, I thought it was just me.
So if you connected your forms through the, if you connected it and you did it in CAR, it would be there, because in CAR it will pull it up.
You create it in zip forms and it's gonna bring everything
Yeah.
over from that package.
If you did it in zip forms. So I'm going to show you a cool thing about this. So say I want to send this out. See when I click on this arrow, I got more options. I can now send this out via DocuSign to be signed. If you guys are familiar with this. I don't know what I did here. For envelope name, I would name this Wilson RLA, just so I know what I'm sending to be signed. You could use template, use the room docs. If you have a template set up, you can set up templates of things that you've already had, which you guys are probably familiar with. I could add the residential listing agreement. I didn't fill in any of the forms, so it's not going to let me bring it over. That was smart of me. Should probably have put something in there.
At least it flags you.
Yeah, you're giving us nothing.
Will we be adding our market center documents?
We
So-
can.
So that they're
When
full?
we're creating a
Yeah.
or contact, do we have to enter that person as a trust if they're in a trust?
When you put them in contacts, it's just for your own benefit to know what's in there. So if your agent wants you to do that, and you put them in his trust, so you know what they are, great. When you're doing it through the contacts, it doesn't matter, through your
Right.
transaction.
It's gonna pull from the cover sheet,
Yeah.
whatever you type in the cover sheet.
So let me put a little information in here real quick, because it's hard to send an agreement out with nothing in it. If I would have filled out the cover sheet right, I would have had some information on here, but I didn't, so being lazy.
For the TCs who are just maintaining and uploading the documents, they're not gonna have to worry
Yeah.
about the filling out portion. That should have already been done. If they're doing full service, then they'll need this information.
I never fill it out this way, I always do it on the form, or on the cover sheet, so bear with me.
Just do your drop down.
And this is a little bit far for the Wi-Fi for my mouse. Oop. So it's like delayed. Whatever.
As a beginning point, I mean, this is where you want to aim to get and be able to work right out of the DocuSign system. But for the purposes of, and I'm not giving instruction, but as the purposes of you getting used to all this stuff in this beta group, it might be simpler for you to fill out like you're used to
Yeah.
in zip forms. But so that they're there, have the whole package set up, then come over here and grab it.
Yeah, you can. I'm just showing you
You're
how
gonna-
you can do it through here if you want. Yeah.
The chances
absolutely.
of making you don't, part of it is you don't wanna make mistakes on a listing agreement, you don't wanna make a mistake on the offer documents and stuff like that. And we're throwing so much at you, it might be short-term,
Mhm. Better to just do what you normally do and just put them in.
but you know you wanna head to this because once you get to this and you're working this way, and you're set up, you're gonna save yourself a bunch of time and you're gonna be more efficient. So
Yeah.
this is where you need to be, but you might take little bites to get there.
Yeah.
Can you show like if they're digitally signed in zip forms, how to go just grab the folder
Yeah.
for that?
So I'll go back and show you. Let me just show you some of the stuff this could do. I'll finish up in here, and I'll show you the other ways you could just grab the documents and whatever works for you to be easiest. If it's easier for you just to send it in car, bring it back, download it as a PDF, and then go into Command and put in the PDF off your desktop, more power to you. I did it all through my Google Drive. I saved everything in Google Drive, and then I just pulled off Google Drive. I dumped it in there. However you want to do it, that's up to you. I'm just showing you that this will be, in the future, almost going into the spot it goes directly for you when you send it out through here. So you won't have to do less work in the future once you get, right now it still takes the same amount of work. In the future, as Kelly learns, it'll start putting these things into the document spots for you, which is pretty cool.
Plus,
Okay.
if you have to make a correction, you can correct it. You can come into your room here and you can send it out for the missing signature
Yeah.
or whatever else.
Yep.
You're not going into zip forms and then getting it. You can work out of here. So
Yep.
this is where you want to be working. Whether you create it in zip forms and bring it in or whatever,
Yeah.
you really want to do the rest of the work once you've created the form in here.
So let's say this is RLA for 12334 Main. I'm just letting myself know with this envelope, this is the email I'm sending out to be signed. So I want this RLA to be signed. I call it RLA. I'm going to add recipients. I can do pre-tagged roles. That meaning the people that are already tagged in the document. So for seller 1, I want them to sign, and that would be, I didn't put his email on here, but I did. If I was to save Adam's name on there, like I didn't do under the cover sheet because I did this earlier, his name would be here as seller 1. I could just click, it would email to him directly. Then listing agent 1, I could click here, it would be to me, it would go to Adam, and then it would go to me to be signed, and it would come back with our signatures. Alright? We get that part. Have we used DocuSign before? This part's easy, right? Okay. I'm not gonna send this, but I just wanted to show you that you can send it. But I'm gonna show you a cool thing is, say we get, there's a document splitter in here, there's also a document combiner in here as well. So if you get page 8's missing a signature, you send over the thing to be signed, they send you back just page 8 to be signed. You could combine that into one document again. Does that make sense? Because we have to make that as one document. So instead of, I know we've had let some things go in the past where if you've had a document and it needed page 8 signed, someone would just dump back in page 8. We needed complete documents 1 through 10, not just page 8 on top of 1 through 10 with 8 being wrong. Does that make sense? So if we go to court, that could get us.
So, can I step in for a
Yeah.
minute? So at this point, as you all know, in SkySlope, I asked for the page 10 on the RPA to be signed by the listing agent because they didn't sign it. So you send it back page 10. And in SkySlope, it allows us to have as many documents in there as possible. In Command, it only allows one document. You go and if you were to go in and you were to make that correction and dump that correction into page 10 of the RPA, all that would be in there would be page 10. So you are going to have to upload complete documents every time. And this is important because none of you are used to thinking that way, okay? Actually, I shouldn't say no, because there are some people that do that. But the fact is, you're gonna have to get to this thought process that if it's a 8-page document, if it's a 3-page document, you're gonna have to send the whole package. Garrett has found that we can combine. So let's say you had that 10-page document that was missing one signature, and you only get the one page back of page 10 signed. You can combine that one page with the other 10 pages that are already there. Now you have an 11-page document, and you can upload that in there. And we can accept that because I can see the 2 page 10s, I can see the correction. Does that make sense?
So like if we have 3 counteroffers, we have to make a one document?
Yes. Yep. And request for repairs, where you've got, as many, whatever it takes. So, and we're gonna have to deal with organization, stuff like that, but.
So to show you how this works, is say I get this, an offer in on this listing, and the offer comes with, the WFA, AD, PRBS, RPA, BIA, and MCA maybe. And I have that document all in one. This program works pretty well. If you right click, you have a split document. Now it's going to tell you it might take a few minutes if it's 45 pages. And you can leave and come back to it as it's doing this. But this one wasn't too bad. So you'll see this offer I have on these pages. So at first page, see how I hover over it, makes it look big. If you're sitting in front of a computer, this is my pre-qual, home loan pre-qual. And proof of funds. So I could say pre-approval, and I click. You see how it's blue? I could add another document. I want proof of funds. Now I could click and click. Now that other page over there looks like the RPA. I can click, 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 click. Oh, yeah, that's the AD. I lied. That's the AD, and then the PRBS. I could click, click. All right, and then
That's pretty easy.
I used to print as PDF, go back and look at the pages. That was a total pain in the butt. PRBS.
This is nice because in SkySlope you can barely see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like WFA.
And if you already knew what page ranges each document was, you can just type it in the little field there next to each name, say.
Yeah, I could just go, this is 9, RPA, it's still 10, right?
Yes.
And then it'll just do that for me. To the last page of the RPA, I won't want too long. They've added a page in there, whatever, we're just examples.
Fire advisory.
And the BIA,
Could you have just clicked on 17 to get rid of it if it wasn't a page?
yeah, probably. And then it looks like we have an MCA. So done, and then I'm gonna hit save. Oh, I missed 9.
The last
Get rid
one,
of it, exit out.
close that last one.
Yeah. Thanks you. Okay, now you'll see I have my BIA, MCA, offer, PRBS, pre-approval, everything good to go. Alright? So that's a quick, easy way I could split documents. Now if I want to combine, if I click, you'll notice there's 2, and then I have combined documents.
Where was the combined, oh,
Right here.
okay.
And then I can combine that into one document. So if I get 4 offers, 4 counters, I can do click, counter offers. All in one spot, one folder for you. So you don't have to go through and see which one's what, clean it up a little bit.
Does this allow you to do folders within the room?
Yes, right here. Room, add a folder.
So you could create as your counter offers, and you could throw all your counter offers in there
Add
and
folder.
then throw them in.
Yeah, if you wanted to be more organized and actually do
So you
different
could
folders
find them
within the
with-
room,
yeah.
you could do your listing folder, your second reviews, your third review. You could do it however you want to be more organized. I am not an organized person. This is just the way I did it. I threw it all in one. And now this room is created. Now when I go back into command, I need my AD. I add file. You'll notice now I have a DocuSign. I click on that, and I'm just going to find my AD in order and hit assign. And now it's there. Now my PRBS, I'm going to add a file, DocuSign, PRBS. Now as Kelly learns, it's going to assign these for you as they come back. It'll even send them out to be signed for you. That's what's coming, but we have to put the data in for Kelly to learn. So it's not going to get there until we start dumping in the files. That make sense? All right. So as I put all these in here, and I fill up my first review with my file, I have it all in here, you'll see up here I have a submit to MC. Now currently we're still going to ask you to throw an email to Ken, subject line, you're just going to go into regular Gmail, subject line the same. All right, here's my 1234 Main Street / Wilson dash first review.
That, put the agent name, okay, because realistically we have a problem when we have dual agency in the office. We need to know which file is which. And then also, until we get out of SkySlope, I need you to put command in the subject line. So it's going to be the address, and it doesn't need to be the full address. 1234 Main Street will do fine. Your agent name and then command. Okay,
So
and then which review you're at.
What you'll be doing right here, it says submit to MC. Eventually, this will be the review process. You're going to hit submit to MC. It says, are you sure you want to submit this review? Submit. Now you've submitted in this first section, our listed section, all the documents to the Market Center to be reviewed.
And
Now-
that sends to Ken or to?
That's why we're asking you to send, it will not email Ken. I'm going to show you what it looks like, but that's why we're asking you to go let Ken know as a first review like we normally do in a normal email. We're just doing that as a precaution in the beginning to make sure we get all these files reviewed and on time. Okay?
But in the future, we shouldn't have to email?
In the future, we're going to cross that bridge, but in the future that submitted button should be enough to notify what's going on with the review process. For now, email everything because we want to make sure we get this done in a timely manner and nothing's missed.
Ken, on the email subject, you still want us to put like listing or transaction?
Right.
No, that was just when you were at, that was requesting the TC.
TC, okay,
So-
so address,
so-
agent name,
Address, agent name, and
whatever
command.
you
Oh, yes, so start with,
Second review.
yeah, agent name, and then command, and then fourth review, second review. Yes. And make sure you do the command, because that is gonna let me, when I see that, I'll know where to go look.
Yeah. We don't be missed.
we're just gonna.
So you'll have this under the listed, then you'll have your under contract, which is like your second, third, and fourth review, and then you'll have your closed with your last couple items here. I'm going to show you what it looks like on our side and what the review process will look like through Command, just so you have a glimpse, you see both sides and understand how it works. You will not have this tab, the Command Market Center. You will not have that tab. So
And you don't know how lucky you are.
So I'm going to get into here under opportunities. I'm going to show you what it looks like. You'll see I have a compliance review. We have 9 people have submitted for that, for the review, including the one I just did. And there's also a commission request. The commission request will be our future CDA's third reviews. That function is not currently 100%. We are hoping that's 100% before we bring the whole Market Center over. It is not yet. So currently for our third reviews, we still need to do our third review through the email to let the girls know, including your commission instructions and your breakdown of who the escrow is and who the, what else we do on third review? Commission instructions, who escrow is, right? And blue sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And referrals
But
and
we
whatever.
still need the second review.
Yeah, and the second review is still to
With
be
the
done
blue
as well,
sheet.
with the blue sheet as well.
Yeah.
So we know that they're coming. So that review process of the first review email, the second review email, the third review email, the fourth review email, and the fifth review, we are still going to need in the meantime until that commission piece goes live. Now that commission piece could go live as early as the 1st of the year. I've heard a rumor, or it could be as late as February. We don't know. They're in open labs with it, meaning that select market centers are doing it. They're making sure it works before they roll it out all the way. I found that out today, by the way. They're in open labs with market centers. So it may go live real quickly. And that would be great because then we won't have to do those reviews process for the blue sheets the blue sheets go away.
But the biggest concern I have with that is the last minute price changes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna need to still do it under that commission tab.
Yeah.
So do we still do a blue sheet?
Right now, you're still doing a blue sheet until we get we're gonna use the commission tab thing. So everything's still gonna be the same for the.
Everything's the same. The only thing is instead of
MCA.
logging into SkySlope to do it, you're going to log into Command to do it.
So for
This
like
is-
for first review, we email Ken and the MCA.
Right.
Second review, you guys.
And this is why we're even though we may not need the email system request over time, we need it now until we absolutely know the system works,
Yep.
because we know our system works.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
And we got to let them know that that's coming, and until this part is there, we won't have a way to know and get those CDAs to you.
can I also address something else?
Sure.
I'm sorry, I'm stealing. So, in SkySlope, we've always taught you that SkySlope is a wonderful place to store your documents, okay? So you've got your, all your seller disclosures, and you started throwing them into SkySlope in the different tabs, and then you went back and you threw them in afterwards once they were signed. Use your DocuSign room to be your storage for those documents, okay? Because once you've done that, you're still giving them to the broker.
You have another spot in Command for folders for any documents you want to put.
Okay, I'm just saying, don't put them in the checklist, because once you put them in the checklist, then it's gonna look like you've got all sorts of completed things in there, and then you're gonna have to be pushing them out.
Let me show you real quick because if they purposely added a spot for that. So when you're doing your documents, you have your checklist, but then you have a custom folder. And you could add a custom folder. In here you could say, extra docs, or whatever you want to call it. And in extra docs, you could put 100 things in here.
But aren't you duplicating what you just created in DocuSign?
I'm
In
just-
that room?
Well, if this will store forever that we own, that's your private, that'll be connected to this person forever.
Okay.
So this, you just have that option right here to do that as well. That make sense?
That might be a DRE thing too. Do we need them all over here? Or do we have to talk to Scott and see what he's doing?
Okay. Well, I'm not sure what documents if we're doing. I'm just saying if you had some stuff that came up that's not on the checklist file that you wanted personally for
Oh,
whatever
yeah,
reason,
definitely, that's
that's the spot.
definitely that, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking operationally, when you're building, when you create you go to your seller after your listing or at your listing and you have them sign the package of seller disclosures, okay? And now you're sitting on them until you get an accepted buyer. If you take that package and you throw it into your DocuSign room for this file, then it's ready for you to send it out via DocuSign to the buyers. Actually, you're gonna have to, you can't send it out DocuSign, but you can send it out from there to the buyers. Okay, so that's your storage place. I'm just changing the attitude, because before the attitude is you can store it in SkySlope. I don't suggest you to put partial documents.
Oh, I see what you're
Unless
saying.
it's completed.
Yeah.
rather than-
Yeah, plan on
Yeah.
just putting
Got it.
completed documents in
Yeah.
there. That's your, it's your end run, where you're all used to saying, well, I can just throw it there. And I've always said, SkySlope is the best place to store stuff. You'll find it easier there than you'll find it on your computer. I think your room,
People do that? They store it in SkySlope?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I've never done that before. Use your
Yeah.
Google Drive, folks. Get it anywhere. I guess
Well,
SkySlope is
more
a
than one
Google
agent
Drive.
Putting it in their SkySlope.
Oh,
Best
there
way
we
to
go.
Because I
Because you have
don't want
multiple agents.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what it looks like on our end. So we have 8 submitted for review, 1 resubmitted, and 0 that had been changed. The compliance review, we can see there's 9, and I could search by addresses to figure out where it's at. Now, I grabbed that listing because I made up 1234 Main Street. The listing name would match the address, but I grabbed that listing because it was just there, that Tehachapi listing, right? So otherwise that would match up.
That's a reject can right there.
Yeah, reject. So I'm gonna hit the review button.
that's a new.
This is what Ken will be doing, what he'll see. He's gonna have statuses of if it's uploaded or not uploaded yet. He has the status of the listed file. Right now it's submitted. He could do changed. He could approve the file completely under the listed side. He could return it. He could ask for resubmitted or changed. He's gonna review all documents. It's gonna pop up on here. He's gonna look through it and say, okay, we got signatures. That looks good. It's approved. He's gonna move on to the next one. He's gonna look through this one and say, oh, it's a mistake. The seller didn't sign. He's gonna reject, and he's gonna say, seller did not sign. Reject document. He's gonna look at the next one. He's got disclosures. That one looks good. It's approved. I only put 2 in here, so that's approved. Everything looks good. He's gonna leave here. He's reviewed all the documents. You see now, one's approved, one's been rejected. On the status, he's gonna send me to, I've been rejected. So me as an agent, or you see I got a little notify here. If I click here, it says, your compliance request for 1234 Main Street, Wilson, has been returned. You have the ability to resubmit it when the problem is fixed. Click here to see the details. I click here, it takes me right to it. And I go, aw, what happened? And I would have my little note on here. This is the, I went to the wrong one, of course, because I put 2 of the exact same name to make things complicated on myself. Let's go to that one. I'm like, oh, it's been rejected. What happened? Seller did not sign. Oh, I put the wrong document in. I was great at doing that. I always gave Ken things with no signatures. Okay,
So you
then-
noticed he just hovered over that, and then it tells you what to comment.
And I could say, okay, you know what? I got a weird thing here. I need to communicate with Ken because the seller is, I don't know why they wouldn't sign, but for whatever reason, I could add a comment to this file. And if I want Ken to be notified that I added a comment, I could do the app button. This keyboard would work. And you'll see Ken's name pops up, Audrey pops up, Amy, Scott, Adam, Drew, myself would pop up if I was under my name, Rachel, and Victoria. So I could say, Ken, hey, the seller isn't going to sign. I am trying to sell this illegally. Whatever.
This is gonna be the way you're gonna respond, where in SkySlope, you responded to an individual line item. you're gonna have to go up here and respond, and so you're gonna wanna say, line 402, we're not gonna get the signature because of this.
How are you uploading the 3 emails on that kind of stuff where people won't sign
Turn them into PDFs and you combine them into one and you upload.
Yeah, just put it in there.
Is there into the spot where?
Yeah, into the spot that it would go. For example, you're working with Brookshire, they don't do the, what is it, the C?
Water heater.
Yeah, the WCMD or whatever it is. They don't do that one, you've requested it 3 times, you said, Ken, it's Brookshire Hathaway, they don't do it. I could ask Ken will now be notified. If you just type in, hey Ken, have you been working out?
He's not gonna get it.
If you do that, he'll see it. If he goes into the comments, he'll see there's a new comment. It just won't notify him that there's a comment. If you want to notify him where he has a ding, now in your Kelly app, it'll notify you if he responds and adds you. Your Kelly app will have a new notification for you. Boop, and you could go in there and click the agent could to see what the problem is. So it's a way for all of us to communicate through technology of what's going on.
Does my Kelly app get all these
Yeah,
back?
yeah. If they at you, anytime someone at you, you'll have those notifications.
Deactivate.
It won't bing on your phone unless you set that up.
I won't, I
Yeah,
promise you.
it's if you go into the Kelly app.
Okay.
So that's a way that we could communicate back and forth to each other about what's going on in the file. Now I've done my listed, let's say I fix it, it gets approved, this would then be approved, then I would have to go under contract, get all my my 200, 300, 400, 500 forms, and then my closed would be my 600 forms. And each time when we complete them, we'd submit to MC and then let Ken know through the normal review process email.
And I haven't figured out yet, and I'm sure I will soon, how to tell you that there's for instance, the trust advisory is not a required document, but once I see that the seller is a trust, I need to be able to mark somehow, and I don't know how to do it, but I will figure it out. So if you look through this now, the trust advisory is not marked as a required document. Doesn't mean you can't still put the documents in there, and you should be. But it's how I.
It's optional, required, as you put them in, we highlight them as they go. You'll be able to, I think you could click on it and under this section. Either which way.
Gene used to be able to, but I haven't been in there for a while, so.
Yeah, we'll
I'm
figure it
hoping
out.
I'll be
If
able to.
there's a way to do that. So, questions on this? I mean, I don't want to go any further. This is the main keys. This is the sky slope. If you want to just do it your own way, put it in Google Forms, and then add a file and drop it into here yourself, more power to you. I'm just trying to show you that there's also the way you can do it through the DocuSign, and that where it gets a little confusing, but you can break up documents, put them together, send them out to be signed, it'll come in. Eventually that will be the way to do it because it will do it for you a lot of the work. So, but that's
I
coming.
have a question.
Yeah.
So from now on, when I'm doing like the sky slopes or the 602s, am I putting them in here now, or am I still
No.
using sky slope?
No, we're gonna need to know which is which.
Currently, you'll still be doing it through SkySlope and just focusing on the SkySlope. We'll work through that command process. As we do that, we'll have the new ones come in. You probably will be coming in through here and then attaching them. It's not the end of the world.
But you'll know because the OK to release on the subject line is going to say command.
Perfect.
Okay.
See, there's a method to my madness, and it will circle all the way back
I'm
around.
glad you're the mad scientist and think of all those things for us.
Any other questions on this?
I just have
Yeah.
like, could we do groups of maybe 2 or 3 just where you would just sit with
Yeah.
us?
Yeah, I'll
Because
sit with you.
I can't learn like this, it's too fast for me.
So what I'll do is I'll just when you have one, I'll just do it with you.
Okay.
So just let me know when you get the next one, if it's today, tomorrow, whatever, and I'll come in and we'll just do it.
Well, because I was gonna try to do the Ruth Run one, but and it's not linking something, so I.
So yeah, we'll do it after.
She got stuck at the link to zip form.
Yeah, and that's gonna be,
See.
you did as well. So that's what we're gonna have to work on probably today is getting that. We'll work for you guys, get all that set up. And then that way we can move forward with these as well.
Yeah, the key thing is make sure those agents have that set up and if you need help, ask for it.
I guarantee you that this is going to be a headache in the beginning. I guarantee you this is going to be the
Better
best
than
thing in the future soon. I would put everything I have on it because of what they've done. It is going to be a headache in the beginning though. Just being honest.
And they need to connect their DocuSign account.
That's what we're talking, yeah, the DocuSign as well.
DocuSign, zip form.
So soon, I'll show you guys how offers are gonna come in and how we can do through the commissions, but we're gonna wait on that because it's not live yet, but it's pretty awesome. Soon your agents are gonna just, as you're putting their listings on MLS, it's gonna please submit offers to this website, and their agents are gonna fill out the website and a lot of this information for you, and it's gonna be nice. And the offers are gonna come in and you're like, ding, you got an offer, ding, you got an offer. And your clients are gonna get, ding, we got an offer, ding, we got an offer on their phone. So it's all going to be connected.
Well, that's gonna piss some agents off.
Yeah.
What do you mean you know about that offer?
Yeah.
That's true.
But I had another one in mind.
But I'm gonna see if they've updated this at all, real quick.
Now, when we get
Why
an
don't you just do
email
a
like
review
for
and
the
shut it?
TC
I
and
just
you're
said.
responding to the agent, are we gonna be copied or not?
What you're gonna do, when you send that email requesting a review, make sure that you are requesting, you're CCing yourself.
Right.
You're CCing your agent, you're CCing yourself.
You know where I didn't see though? If-
I
where
don't
there's
know.
a spot I can put that.
We have to
double
ask, because I don't know
ending,
that
didn't see
out of
that.
here,
I know,
whether,
that's
I don't know. I
So if you're on both
Yes,
sides,
it does.
you're just gonna put in all the information, buyers and sellers all the way through.
Okay.
So in the notes, you're gonna say, like up here, the listed side, when the offer is accepted, you're gonna say,
Can you copy yourself?
Yeah, I'm sending the email.
No, but you're sending it through their SkySlope,
Yeah,
so you have to CC yourself.
I did.
You know?
I only
You
get
don't like
the,
you.
Yeah, and that's why she kept getting them when SkySlope was down.
I told you don't like her.
the okay to release email.
So I'm guessing the answer to your question about it as a TC getting copied out of Command. I'm guessing when Command has the ability to accept TCs, then you would probably get notified. But until then, it's the same as in SkySlope. You're not gonna get notified. You don't get notified now in SkySlope when I do a review.
Yeah, well, when you respond, cause I CC myself, so
On the
sometimes.
email, but not the.
Oh, yeah, no, I
not-
won't,
not
I
out of-
won't
out
get
of
the date.
SkySlope,
Yeah,
right.
no.
so the future of the real estate agent and TCs and working in there is the Command's going to be open with them and stuff that's going along. Command is gonna, the purpose of it is an agent goes to one place, and these apps are everything a real estate agent needs to run his business, and instead of having 9,000 things open. So that, I mean, a lot of it in the notifications for the real estate agents and all that is to be tied into there. Now they're building it out so the TCs are gonna have access to that and be notified to be able to run that portion of the business for the agent for them. Now, that's all coming. It's why we've been slow to roll over, because these things have been coming. Well, it's now at a point where the review process is working well, and so we slowly need to move in, because if we wait much longer, we're gonna be a year away, because through the busy season, we wanna do this through the slower season of real estate.
Have you tested to see if you're in your account and someone else also logs in your
Oh, yeah.
Command
Drops
account,
you out.
what happens?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in my account on my computer right now.
So if someone else from a different computer tries to log into your account,
And it doesn't bounce you, right?
it doesn't bounce you, it allows multiples in?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I
Yeah.
figured it should, but you never know.
Yeah, you never know. But yeah, it's in there.
Oh, you're in your computer, it's open in your
I was
office?
playing
So
with
it's
it right
not
before we
keeping you
came
here,
into here.
okay,
Yeah,
okay, that answers.
and I go back and I'm still in there. I do it all the time. Run around and open it up in different areas. Okay. Are we thoroughly confused and terrified?
Yeah, no.
Perfect.
They should have.
Big deal? Confused? Good, because you've been playing with it already, right? Okay. Confused? Good?
I think I'm okay.
Okay.
Are the
I have
teams,
Confused?
Little,
Audrey, are the
Little?
teams set up?
little.
So we'll
I
walk through the
haven't
one.
been asked to do
Once
anything
it will
in
be
there.
good to go.
I just need to get the DocuSign set up through it.
Okay.
Because it just confirmed it and then it said
So,
that it
could-
was not.
Could
Mine
Mike,
did that
could
same
we help
thing.
right now, Mike, with that? We'll get you guys going with that. What was the question? I heard you.
Teams. Are they set up? Because if an agent's on a team,
So
who's
team
responsible?
function should be working. Do you know, when you're in Tom Paul's, does it show the team setup?
In here?
Yeah.
I haven't been in
So
here.
mine says it's a.
Can you log in for me real quick?
The
You know it?
agent
Or no?
I'm already over here, because that's.
Do you,
Well, that's what I'm
I've
saying.
been
You're not a
in
team.
Bam is not-
This here.
Yeah.
there's no one else as a team in here besides Tom Paul. Not a team setup. And one more?
Sure, yeah.
It is?
Silva
Yes.
is
So
a
does a
team.
team.
Oh, when I go to.
Do you know
this
your
one,
login
so we're like
for
here, right?
Command?
This way, so-
Yeah, it's under
Right.
John.
Yeah, I know. Do you know it though? If you could log in, I'm gonna see if the team's set up.
Oh, no.
No.
I have it saved on my computer,
Yeah.
sorry.
Right.
From my understanding, teams are up and running. I'm not set up as a team, so I don't know.
Okay, well, we need
So-
to,
So
we need
the,
to
like,
make sure
There's
for
two
Thomas,
how it works. I'm sure it's
is he
working. yeah.
setting himself up as a team, or is that something we're supposed to be doing
Oh,
from?
No, he should be doing it in his set, through his setup. So his team that's set up is supposed to connect one more. He has his agents underneath him. He can connect, send leads to him, do all that sort of stuff. I haven't played on that side of it yet though, because I don't have that access.
But what I don't understand is an agent that's on
Thomas'
Thomas's team
Mhm.
can't have their own access. They have to access through Thomas's team. They should not have their own command account.
No, they do.
They're not supposed to, because otherwise they can work outside the system and they can't do that.
So they do, but they're shown as a team member of his team. And so if leads or anything come in, he can direct them to who he wants a part of his team.
So they're not an individual, it's an
Yeah, it
individual
would-
within the team.
Within the team, but they have their individual spot
Access,
to go.
yeah, right.
And their own people.
But if they tried to do something without Thomas knowing about it, he's
Yeah, he
gonna
can
know
know,
about it
yeah.
because it's gonna show up in Thomas's master account.
Yeah,
But we need to make sure how that's all working, because I don't think anyone understands that yet.
yeah. No one's played with it, I don't know. So we'll have to play with it. You guys do everything under Tom anyways, though.
So
Who
for
does-
instance, in Skyslope, they only have one account.
No, I know.
But that's how their team is set up.
Well, all teams are that way. The only one that's not is, what's her name's team?
Rima?
No, Rima's one now.
Antoinette?
No, I forget. The one that, no, the lady, the gal that teaches the real estate class.
Oh, Kathy.
Kathy.
Oh, Kathy, well, yeah,
My specialty group or whatever it's called.
yeah.
But everyone else, all the other teams are one, so
We'll
and
have
that should
to-
stay that same way. And then
and-
we wanna make
and
sure that your
Silva should
agents
show
show
as
up
a
under
team.
that.
Right.
Even though we're doing everything under John? Cause that's how we've been doing since January.
Really, John? I don't know, John shouldn't be a
The
team anymore.
main
He's pretty much
thing with-
solo now.
The main thing with teams is for award purposes. So if you want a team award,
Yeah.
it needs to be set up like in a team, because command is gonna take care of all the reports and everything at some point. Like we get out of our little antiquated software out of Winmore.
But
So
legally,
it has to be set up, each team has to be set up, the way that we know it, right, as a team for award purposes. If John is gonna go individual and still pay Jonathan something, you know, that's still a team setup in my head.
Okay.
But like Rose is individual.
But could you have
so
like the
that's-
team set up, so like with Thomas, you could have Thomas and then, you know, the agents under him, but still do everything out of Thomas.
The-
So
the
it's still be,
compliance.
it's
The
still
main
set up
thing-
as a team, but everything's still going through
Thomas.
as Thomas.
Yeah.
right, I suspect though, that the beauty of command is gonna be that if you have your team and you have buyer agent one, buyer agent two, seller agent one, seller agent two, and they each have access, and they're constantly, because Thomas is requiring it, updating, these are my contacts, these are who I've met, these are who I'm going, and moving everyone along. Now you have your team members keeping your system updated versus you having to go in and update all the people on your team.
It's gonna be her regardless.
Am I reading that? Am I reading that right?
It should just be under one. The compliance, when they go into the compliance piece, all of them will be there. It's just a different owner will be there.
So they
Right.
should still be able
So
to
all your
go in and
opportunities,
maintain.
the opportunities will all be there, it's just different owners of the opportunity.
What we need
When you
to
go
test
into there.
though is like with Benowitz and some of the other teams that aren't being represented yet, is to make sure their command is set up in a team.
I have to log into theirs. I don't
Because
know.
you would think that if, say Andy has a transaction with Thomas, but if Andy's not on the transaction, he can't go into command and see it. Is that
That's
true?
what we have to figure out.
Right.
Well, they can't go into Sky Slope right now and see it.
Why can't you
But
can just give
he's
him
gonna-
ownership when you create the opportunity?
You have to use.
Because then Thomas can see it.
Well, but it's gonna be dual,
Yeah,
yeah, just be a
Yeah,
dual.
the team is supposed to.
The owner of the team should be able to see everything.
They can, so they
As long
can
as
see,
there's, once they're set up as a team, I've gotta
Yeah.
believe that that's the way it's gonna work.
yeah,
And, but I also imagine that each team member should have access to the files that they are working on, so they can update them and work on.
No, my agents don't do that.
No, but depending on the teams, some teams they do, and some teams they don't.
teams, their agents work their own file? What,
Banowitz does. Banowitz is, they are collecting,
doesn't
getting their own.
do it all?
She does some of it, but
Why would I be on a team if I didn't do my paperwork? That'd be like a,
But you still, but, okay, so you're on a team, you've got a new contact, and you're working the contact. But where are you gonna go work your contact?
you go, so the team leader has all that information.
So you log in as the team leader,
You
and you
log
can
in as
see.
no, as an agent, if the team leader gives you that contact, then you can have access to it. The team leader can add, give who they want to their clients,
Right,
or
but
to
what-
their agents, I mean.
Okay, I think we're saying the same thing, but,
Right.
So
so,
if the buyer's agent enters it into him, the team leader gets it as well.
right.
Yeah,
And so the buyer's agent actually can go in his portion of command and work it, and everything he works shows up in the team's command.
yep, so the whole point of the opportunity is to see all your team members and all your business as a whole, what it's doing. And each team member should be putting their opportunities in there and creating those opportunities. When they meet someone at an open house that's gonna sell in 3 to 4 months, they should be putting in there as a cultivate under them as the owner of that. The team leader can see how many they have in cultivate and how much money they should be making over the next 10 months.
But we just need to make sure that the teams are set up that way, because otherwise you can have someone that's working outside of the team, and that's, you
Yeah.
can't work both.
Yeah.
You're either in a team or you're off a team.
Mike's helping Mary, and
Do
then,
you know how to fix that link thing? You know,
I know.
that's the part, okay.
so I'm gonna let Mike do it, cause he had to help me do it too.
For GABA? I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Zip form.
let me know if you need help, if something pops up.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Hey. Can I call you back in like 10 minutes?
Okay, so,
Alright, love you.
so remember where they went over to the, sign in the car,
Camels, they had a camel.
and that is it forms. It should be the first name, last name, and your NERCS number for your username.
Oh, okay.
And then whatever that zip form password is, which I had to do a password reset in order to
Yeah.
get mine. And then add your 9 digits.
So now I'll know which which one I'm in, because the password
Log
will
in
work.
though into.
You get what I mean? I'll know which one.
No, I know, it's
Yeah.
like, we log in through car,
No, I log in through here. Well, this is not my normal way, but, and see, it's just a bunch of pain.
Don't
Yeah,
worry,
it's
I'll
not
go
gonna be
home
this
and cancel my account. I
go
literally
on
just paid
into
for it 2 days ago.
the form.
I'll just call my credit card company and tell them.
Okay.
Then, well, into the forms plus. And then a link with your gold link or whatever color that is. So this, you have gross, okay? So under sign in security, this is what she's got for
I
sign.
really think
That's
that's,
what I'm putting in this
No, no,
one.
That's
no, it should have been
everyone needs
displayed.
the room, no matter how they create the form.
It should be
Yeah,
her,
that's-
her name and
Step
her
one.
Yeah.
9-digit
in there, split it
NRDS
up,
number,
because
which
Some
is
point
like,
we'll work out
it's probably
some
1505,
documents out of
and then her 5-digit MLS.
Yeah, I know. I was noticing that too when I was teaching. I was like,
So I would just
Some-
not say if you close that.
some of them use it already.
See if you
They use
can-
it. They pay for it. They use rooms, no big deal.
So go up
But
here to the
Not
lead.
everyone's gonna.
But I mean, I've already seen this in a few conversations you and I have had. You take that room, and
You
you've
know,
got everything in there for that file.
And
And
then
now,
to
and
sign
then,
in security.
if you're organizing, you don't wanna scroll through 100
Well,
documents.
that's saying that your username is that.
And it's like storing it on
So this will be
your
Okay,
page.
so I would use that, I don't know what the
And
password
now you
would be,
can-
you
if
could
you-
try
See, you
your
can't
usual
send,
suspect.
if you're representing the
Okay,
seller,
so try that.
you can't send out the
I did.
disclosures to the buyer and you sign. You have to send
No,
out, you have to send them, so you can't send them out electronically.
No, that's more of like once you get
Maybe a
disclosures
different
into the buyer,
password.
I'm just trying to show them how to do it as a quick example.
But
The listing agent should take that and go get them signed during the listing appointment, and they have it, or they leave the disclosures with them, or whatever they do.
Or they just email
And then
back.
they email everything back, so they kind of do a PDF form anyway, so that's gonna get dumped in there. And you can combine that into one thing, or make it pretty when you send it out when the offer's accepted, you know, it's just to do all that to show.
I also
So
don't
I
think
just
this
went into mine and I
accepts
saw that,
anything
that I was
but
already
PDF,
located
which
on
is
the
Doesn't
client
need
team.
password.
because we get a lot.
Oh, okay. But I
Right,
meant-
crap.
Oh, we'll get Word documents, we'll get, JPEGs.
Yeah, PDF's so easy to do.
JPEGs, JPEGs have never
So
bothered.
I'd have to change
Take
both of
picture.
them.
I just it all the time. Cause there would be a picture of the screen that their feet were on, the, you know, as proof of funds. So they're like, how do I get a proof of funds? I'm like, just cover it, so you can print it out, and it's in. And then I'm like, whatever. And to be honest,
So
I've
over
done,
here,
I would say 25 to 35% of my deals where the agent never even asked for the
Yeah,
proof of
can
funds.
you reset password?
And my lender I
It's
trust,
just
I don't
gonna be
care.
changed.
My lender tells me it's good.
But you don't know
It's
what the
good.
current password.
I don't care about the
You know
proof
what
of
I
funds.
did for that?
For me personally,
Oh.
so
I think I-
when the lender's like, yeah, dude, they're good, they got 30,000 in the bank, blah, 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 I'm like, cool. And so I don't have it, and if they never ask for it, I don't even do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's funny. If I'm the listing
Well,
agent, where's your proof of
The problem
funds?
is, it says I'm either sending the proof of funds with my offer, or you'll have it in 3 days, and it's
Yeah.
in the contract.
And, well, I'm just saying, most agents don't even ask. I do it.
Most
If I'm a-
agents don't even know it's there.
I'm a listing agent, I'm like, where's the proof of funds? Like, I need proof, sorry, like, you're doing 20,000, where is it? And if
So
I
I
call the
think what I
lender and the
did
lender's like, yeah, blah, 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 and I know the
was-
lender, okay, but I wanna see
You
the
have
proof
it
of funds.
saved when you log into.
That's what I mean, like, if I don't know, I wanna see the money.
Oh, yeah.
And, but it's funny to me, cause how many times have I put in there, they never asked for the proof, and I never gave it to them, cause I know my lender's good, if they say
Yeah.
they have the money in the bank, they have the money in the bank, 'cause my lender looked. My lender's not gonna pre-approve them unless he's seen the money, but it's funny to me how many agents on the other side,
Invalid current password.
what?
Try it, try when you log in, it's hard
Whatever.
to snag
I would say
that
hard.
password.
Well, it, you
So
know,
just go to
it also,
decline.org.
Yeah,
a
it's really good.
significant number of the pre-approval letters state that they checked assets.
Yeah, mine does.
And once I see that,
Wow,
line,
that's really weird.
Yeah, yeah, that's
the lender
what
says
It's like,
they're
yeah.
not
But I
asking.
think
Yeah.
the zip form.
Lenders,
I ran into this
the
the
lender's
other
gonna
day with,
say they have it, therefore important, they,
Yeah, that's,
and someone printing out something
something
fake.
that, yeah, I know, like a proof of funds is very much like, I could make that real quick and easy, whatever you want me to, what do you wanna make it fun to say? Do you want $1 million? I'll give that to
Then
you.
go out to distribute.
All right, well,
Except for
I think
my
we're-
one. Just clean that up.
I think we're starting,
Now we'll give them two minutes.
and there's gonna be a lot of headaches moving people over.
Yeah, this is like less than a quarter of that list. It just, some people say no, or
Some people said yes, they're not here. Some, like Rima's person didn't need to come because she's already using Sky, they use
Well, go
in
back to the
Northridge.
sign in.
She does a lot of deals out in
Oh,
Northridge.
okay.
So she's using Command every day already.
On my head.
I need to call Angela and tell her that we've got some.
But then I didn't know what that one was.
Yeah, she
My
still needs the
copy.
first reviews and do that. She
Yeah,
couldn't be with us, she
probably
had a,
when I
That's
barely go in.
but yeah, if you give her a call, she's here half the time, she might be here. We can let her know, but she's already, if you look in there, some of those reviews are already hers.
But you have to,
And
You have to know what the
you have to know the current
I
password,
didn't
which
ask
is stupid.
him,
Yeah, I know the
they're,
current.
they're busy, they're doing,
So you do?
selling on
Oh,
Facebook.
I thought I did.
Watson and Associates now.
Oh, this, he slid up?
On Facebook, Watson and Associates. Yeah. So I knew that I knew there was stuff going on in the background. So he's,
Congratulations to him.
yeah, so he's
Yeah, underneath that one.
yeah, so he's. I'm just letting that go. I wasn't gonna bother him because he's doing all that right now. And then who else was I missing? Who else was missing? It was just one or two other people.
I said my name. There's a line.
And this is good. Yeah.
Really rock on
This is
I
why,
wonder if I found it.
I don't know if we go through this, but this is
Probably
why,
in my email.
all this.
I don't know.
I always get my
I
names.
Everyone does.
The thing
Ken,
is
when do
that
we have to
it
get
did
back
lock
to
me
you?
into the-
Ken, it's easy,
then
just
when I
do
went
it.
back
It's,
to
it's
it,
well,
it's a
and-
username.
I was logged
So
off,
just
so
get-
I'm trying to
get
log
that
in.
RDS.
And you don't wanna,
I don't wanna know, I don't care, I get it, it's,
All of this 77724 is my
I
GABA
didn't
number.
have-
So go back into command.
Yes,
It did
yeah.
log me in.
Mike Jackson said he was
The
gonna be
number
here,
that,
or was here,
Yeah,
Daniel was
gives
here.
you-
Yeah, yeah, and then that,
when you pay your
I
fee.
didn't ask.
and then that whole thing combined
No,
Yeah.
well,
is the NRDS.
Paul was here, I didn't ask Paul.
I knew it was
I
just
didn't
like
ask who went down there,
158, but I knew the
didn't
rest
see
of it
Barry or
was
Johnson
my
was here.
GABA number.
Rose was here, Stanley was here, but he left.
So,
I didn't ask
you
Roy,
did that.
because I didn't see
Well,
her.
yeah. Still
Reno was here.
did Stanley come, is
Stanley was here.
Stanley the classes
I have to
before
log
that?
out.
Left, maybe he's like, maybe I'm not ready for this. Maybe I'll step out."
He's not ready for that.
I'll talk to him.
Yeah, I'm sure he might, or he might have like, this, I got this already, I've been playing with it already, I'm good. Like, if you were to sit this through me, because I've played on it so much, I'd be like, okay, I don't need to be here, and I would have left too.
Mike,
Well-
they need help over here, cause we just are not, it's the old, or the current password part that is
This part got me too.
stumping us.
So, Mike had to help me with this part.
Mm.
yeah, there's like a specific,
Yeah, well, it's not as simple if you've been working on it for 15 minutes. turning it
So you're gonna have to do it for all the agents then.
Yeah.
This is the part that I thought was the stupidest thing in because it's California, of course, is our car is a different login in the zip forms.
Right.
And so to go find that is impossible. I had no idea what my password was.
I wonder if that.
But it's got-
coincides.
They must be doing something else besides that.
Are you doing that, Mike?
Yeah, he's doing it.
Are you trying to figure out the car password?
yeah, just gonna get to the.
Oh, you're doing more than one, right? Are you doing just one?
No, he's doing 5. I'm just joking. He's doing mine, just mine. Just mine. Screw everybody else's. They can write their own contracts, right?
Yeah.
I know, we're all laughing at that deep
He's gonna have to
inside.
look into it, so he'll have to come back, circle back to you guys, because
That's fine,
this was, I knew this is going to be the biggest hangup
yeah.
of this whole project.
I thought I copied mine, but it won't let her copy her,
Hey, Scott.
but you got in.
No.
No?
Almost.
No,
Almost, we're almost there. We're this
Did you see that
close.
text message I sent?
We
He's
got it.
hacking it.
He's hacking it. He's
Well,
going
I
back.
to make it
because
happen.
all you do is you copy
So-
it, you put it into.
You know what, cause this, you know what,
What's,
I know
what's
what the
beginning
password
so
cause
hard?
this
It
computer
wouldn't recognize
gets
the
into it
DocuSign.
differently than my other one.
Password?
Maybe
Well, I
the
know my
other
password,
one,
but
yeah,
I
I'll be
just
able to
created
get
a
it.
new one when it
But then you
connected to
still need to
KW
know
with
that.
the Mary
If
Johnson.
you can do the
Didn't have to
reset
do
password,
email.
and
I
have
just
to
created a
do
new one because it kept telling me
password,
mine
yeah,
was
then
not
you should
right,
be
and
able
now I
to
know
do
it
it
is.
on there.
So now I'll know that
And then you
each
have
DocuSign
DocuSign
has a
set
different
up already?
password.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So
And you have
then
DocuSign set up.
Okay, so to make
So it's
this,
just
so
load
it's
so just
just
to make
linking.
this.
So in the meantime, you
what's-
can
what's my password?
What's your car?
store them on the computer
It's
and
Salazar
upload them
with a capital X.
till we can get that
008.
linked.
mhm.
You know, if there's documents that you already have anyway on the computer that are signed.
We'll just make it,
Right.
since it was, it's not.
Or you might be able to call the helpline.
Oh, God,
Oh, God,
no. That might be a long way.
Have the DocuSign account though. If you go to your DocuSign account here,
They did, were they here?
What did you get? You have your were you able to
you
do
can't,
that
you
sign?
can't link
Well,
the zip form.
it said it did it.
It should, see how it shows me mine, it shows,
Yeah.
there's other people that work, that's what I'm just talking about. But either way,
Well,
it doesn't
because
matter.
it says
Credentials
Right
can't be
here.
often.
Click on this thing.
So there's a support article, maybe there's some,
You know, I wonder too on some of this stuff, if when you do it, sometimes when you do other,
That's a residential.
like, go to AT&T and you change something, and then you go try to go log right back in, it doesn't recognize you,
yeah,
because it takes time for it to recognize.
log off,
They got a random
reset,
text from me saying,
come back in.
saying,
Is that what-
It could be
here's
cookies,
this
it could
stuff,
be.
but I didn't say anything else.
Do you know what I mean? She said you had to upload your stuff to, for the document.
Hey, Mike, how do I stop this?
Oh, gotcha.
Do you know how to turn this on?
So now you hit this button right here, let's start a transaction.
I had it that before.
That's live, that's the,
Oh, that's good.
no, I'm just gonna, I'll break it.
hate technology. I love it when I know how to do it, but I hate it in the beginning.
It's wonderful when it's up and running.
Yeah, when I see what it's gonna do, it's gonna be so easy.
But you know what happened to mine?
It's just getting there.
Yeah.
It logged into a previous zip form library. It didn't have my newest stuff. It logged into something from a few years ago.
How funny.
And I never sat down and called Carter and said, what the heck?
Did you guys understand what I was talking about? Just put your documents in the DocuSign
So
room,
now we get.
and then when
now we
you
get to,
have, like, so you collect, you get everything for your listing. And once you have the full package for the listing, now take all those documents from the room and assign them into command. Okay? So realistically, what you're putting in command is what you know is, is a complete document. So if you know there's a mistake on the TDS and the buyer hasn't signed on page 3, just leave it in the room, send it back to the buyer's agent to get that signature on there. And once you have that, depending on what you get back, if you get back the whole 3-page document, fine. If you only get a 1-page
All my
document,
stuff.
then you're gonna take that third page, because that's probably what you're gonna get back.
Yeah, so.
And you're gonna take that third page, and you're gonna merge it with the first 3 pages that are already in your DocuSign room.
It's already connected, it's gonna ask you.
Actually,
Especially
I
the
hate the fact that we didn't do that. It makes my life miserable.
You can just go straight to the
I get,
library.
you don't see the side where I got,
What he was doing was
there was,
supposed
the
to
worst case that I had
directly
like
within,
2 weeks
I'll
ago
make a
was
new one, but this is our.
counter
Yeah,
offers.
all
There were
linked, which then the whole.
4 counter offers, but they had them on 6 different documents,
And it's
different
just a problem.
PDFs, and they were mixed together. And I was like,
You started.
That's
Because
crazy.
I have Adobe that I
For
can
this
separate,
Yeah.
so I do that.
But you can, and you can do that,
Yeah.
but very few people
Perfect.
do, and that's why
The next couple of days.
we're excited that we can do it in the
Yeah.
DocuSign room, because the agent,
We got past
they
the-
can add and they can split, so it doesn't really matter, so. I'm guessing you'll quit using it in Adobe, and I'm guessing you'll probably start using it
Yeah.
over time.
Go
Where's the
sign on to-
DocuSign room at?
That's where you're,
Carlos,
ended up, oh, you have to create an.
you know what I mean?
So, are you in DocuSign?
Did I still do my own stuff?
You,
or do I not?
what I did was
Yeah.
just upload.
So then do I go back to the very top, like let's go to, like, we'll get out of this transaction, okay,
You know
so
what?
say we can get a
I watched
dashboard.
yours.
You know, I
I need
think what we'll
to
need
take
to
Adobe
do
file and put it together,
is,
just so
Well, that's what, well, I actually wanna do my Ruth one, but I
On the
wanted someone
login
to sit,
to
once I
Carlos's
go
own
through a whole
command
one, I can
account.
do it.
What I
and
did was
do
just
all
add
of the same things
I can't use
that we just did.
zip forms right now.
Yeah.
For his.
And I have to do that for each agent then, because they're not on my team. Netza, I don't even know if
Yeah.
it's gonna be on my team, but right now it's Netza, me and Carlos, but I
Yeah.
work for Wendy Salazar, I do it for,
This one.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's where it's gonna get,
Probably more than me,
a little tricky here is because.
So I'll tell you right now,
all
I'm just gonna
those-
use this one for my team
When you write.
And then I'm
that,
still
when
gonna
you
access
upload
theirs
it,
through
you probably
Skype
gonna do it.
until they figure out their own thing.
Because,
That's just the signature.
yeah, because.
But you have to actually create
Everyone
a
will need,
for the address.
every agent will need to have
Right.
all of these things set up,
So then it
so that one, they can
I
go
was
to
thinking that you
themselves,
could show
or
them through the commission
if
screen,
they have
and
a
they can
Make
do,
your appointment.
then you can
And
log into their.
Have it, and just have your documents already.
Manage
So
all
you
your
know
response
what
info
needs
that we
to
need.
go. Just say,
So,
okay,
like, if
and
they
then
were
you
not
sit
part
down
of your
and
team,
and read,
you're not gonna
I don't wanna watch you do it, I wanna do it, I want you to watch me and help.
and then
That's
have
what
a
I
meeting.
Instead of
was
just
doing.
like-
If I'm watching, I can't like.
Yeah,
And
and
then
then,
hopefully they have their
or you can just use.
DocuSign and stuff set up in their command, because
Well,
then I can
cause I
just
have
log
a
in
real
the
one
same
and
way
I
I do
think
with
if I do,
Skype.
it's my list.
I still got a lot
I
of
do
it.
it, then
Still got a lot of it. Carlos is
I just have to
It's
do
all
it.
different, you know what I mean?
yeah,
That's what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna take an all listing.
because then you'll just be able to go in
And
and
then
know.
I've already downloaded all the files out of SkySlope, they're sitting in a folder.
The transaction, link
And I'm
it
just
from
gonna
there
dump
to
them all into,
you know, just exactly what
I
you
was
did.
gonna ask you, I have one of, Longo's that
She doesn't get stuff.
I sent, you know, through SkySlope to, for the buyer to sign. They came back and like, the first 3 are regular size and all the rest of them are real small.
They're all there with
And that
the-
came
within
through
the
Sky, cause
program.
when I put them in there, they're all the same size.
So I don't
Those
know.
are on my
who
list
it's
of
gonna
docs, which is cool, 'cause that's all I'm wondering is right now.
I'll
Yeah,
probably,
you can
probably just
totally-
put them
I
in
need
there,
to
cause I can
manipulate
manipulate them back
I
up.
guess, you know, use,
The agent.
Basically, I'm
use
on
this separate
Main
reviewer
thing
that
is
I,
showing,
that I
cause
use,
it's
that I have,
automatically gonna
I
be
just
roll
click on
rate,
it,
it's auto-
fit the width, and it makes
yeah,
it.
for all the,
Oh,
things
okay.
that go.
Main thing-
Typically, that works.
But not.
Is the 199 needs to be added?
Literally, I'm just gonna get canceled.
And one more thing, you said like
On Monday.
The,
My
the,
royalty is done
that
too,
one
that's,
button
that's
was
quite a
at the-
bit.
at the-
But yeah.
Extra card in it.
You know, like to
Remember,
email
if you
you,
post anything
right
this
now,
month,
we
it's not
we
gonna
can't just
show
click
up
that
yet
one
because
button.
Thank you.
Exactly, yeah.
So we have to actually.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's
You
still on
mean,
the.
oh, you
the-
can't
the
send an
thing
email out
itself.
of command, is that what
Oh,
you
yeah.
It's still gonna
No, you
count.
Oh, you
the
can, oh, okay, so we
Just a
just
button.
email, that's
Yeah,
right.
you're gonna send,
This over here,
so
when
you're
you
gonna be
write those, I
sending,
have.
for your
No,
different
you
clients, you're
ignore
gonna be
that.
sending an email from
Cause
your
we
personal
wouldn't look
email.
at that anyway,
Okay.
this
To
is what we're gonna
compliance.
look
So
at.
This
actually
isn't accurate either,
if I
though.
send it through my
So this is gone.
Well, as
The
long
file
as
goes
in
in
the
right now,
subject
this would be
line,
wrong.
it has
Can't we change it?
the address,
No.
the agent's name, and it
No,
says
I-
command in there, and then the review.
I think what you
Can't
need
change
to
it.
do,
Besides.
I think
Yeah.
what you need to do is
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
go into the command
The
chat
199.
Yeah.
and at Ken
Yeah, I think.
and
doing
start
it
and,
from
and blow up his
sheets
phone.
and-
be ignored.
Right, that's not funny. No, it's okay, because I will start ignoring it. It gets-
Block me.
You're like, oh, there goes Kelly.
But yeah, that's the difference that they're gonna be sending for
I
your
thought
personal
our
mail.
Oh, okay,
sheet
that's why I
was
was
the
confused,
sheet.
I'm
I
like,
didn't
well,
realize
how do
it
I
was-
So,
email
and then,
them?
but you're gonna make sure,
Great
you're
sheet
gonna
is
copy,
also
you're
my
gonna
teach-
send it
teach
to
them also
compliance,
you
but
when
you're
it's
gonna
all gonna go
copy
maybe in a month.
your agent.
But this might